Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the K&B Music Den. I'm Keith,
I'm Brad.
and we are doing yet another new album review. What a year! We can't keep up.
No.
There's so many albums that we don't even have time to review all of them. On that note, as a side note, before we get into Death Cab for Cutie, I just listened the other day to the brand new Rhett Miller album, which is the lead singer of the band Old 97s. He has a lot of solo albums that are fantastic. This new album, oh, forgive me, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it just came out a couple days ago. It is unbelievable. It's so good. Maybe one of his best solo albums.
I haven't heard it yet.
So check that out. Yeah, I'll ask him about it down the road and see what he thinks. But we're not here to talk about Rhett Miller, and we're not here to talk about the new Marcus Mumford, and we're not here to talk about the new Mars Volta. We're here to talk about the new Death Cab for Cutie album called Asphalt Meadows. Now, Brad, I don't recall for sure what your history is with Death Cab. I remember that you're a fan of the band.
I don't know how I would phrase my fandom went to a certain point and then it phased out.
Okay.
I got to, was it Plans?
Plans, yeah.
And I was really happy with everything they did up to Plans. And then some of the stuff got a little different for me. And I stopped listening as much. Not to say I wasn't a fan or that I had any problem with what they were doing. But it wasn't landing in my top 20 or 30 things I wanted to listen to on a daily basis. So I just missed a lot of the newer stuff.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have an idea of perhaps why the more recent albums may not be resonating with you?
To me, it sounded less band and more solo driven, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Things kind of started sounding a little more electronic in certain areas, and I don't know. It wasn't group focused in the same way that I remember hearing some of the stuff previously.
Interesting. A little more like Ben Gibbard and the rest of the guys.
yeah.
Ben's great.
Yeah.
Well, lead guitarist and primary producer of their albums, Chris Walla, left the band.
Okay.
And that's right where the break is. Well, there was Narrow Stairs after Plans. It's right behind you there.
Okay.
And there might have been one more with Chris, but Narrow Stairs might have been the last one. The past several albums, including this new one, Asphalt Meadows, Chris Walla has been gone for a while now from the band. I think the band has not recovered from his departure.
So he's one of those real intricate parts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, having said that, Ben Gibbard is a rare, unique, special talent. And
no one has a voice like him.
No.
It's a unique voice. And I do enjoy it.
It is. And you want to talk about songwriting. I mean, now here's the thing. On the more recent ones without Chris Walla, for me, the songs didn't necessarily reach their full potential.
Okay.
But they're still written by Ben, sung by Ben, so you're not going to find a whole lot of stinkers, in my opinion. Now, we're doing something a little different with this album review. We kind of decided to do this at the last second. So usually we listen to an album, I'd say at least 3 times when we're reviewing it, take some notes, and then just kind of talk about it. We have only listened to this album once today, no notes. So it's going to be more of just a, first impression, talk instead of having notes to fall back on. So that being said, when I listened to the album, it's kind of what I was expecting to get from Death Cab at this point in their career. A solid album, an enjoyable listen, nothing that's going to make me go, wow, this could go toe-to-toe with Transatlanticism, or this could go toe-to-toe with Plans. And it's not fair, really, to hold them up to that standard, because those albums are flawless masterpieces that I have on vinyl, but also because Chris Walla did leave the band, which they didn't have any say in the matter. That's how I take it. I don't think that was anything bad or anything, but it's just he wanted to move on and do other things, and it's a void that's hard to fill. Now, I would never stand here and say, well, when Chris Walla left, they just should have stopped making music. They suck. No, my God, absolutely not. If you're a Death Cab fan, you've probably already heard the album several times because it just came out and you were excited for it. I enjoyed listening to the album. Again, I only listened to it once, so I don't have a ton of specific details. But what were your first impressions?
Mine are a little bit different than yours.
Okay.
I actually think this is the best thing they've done since Plans.
Okay.
So, for me, I didn't go into it excited to listen to it because I haven't enjoyed. Not to say I didn't enjoy. I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's making it sound more negative than it didn't catch me the way that stuff like Transatlanticism, Plans. Those albums to me were just flawless. And then and now that he mentioned that, it kind of makes sense that something dipped off. But this, I wouldn't even put it in a Death Cab category to me. It doesn't sound fully Death Cab. Didn't he have a solo project at one point, like what was it called, Postal Service or something?
Postal Service was him and another gentleman, I believe, and it was like more of an electronic kind of project.
I felt like this had a little bit more, again, it sounded more Ben than it did sound like a band effort.
Yeah.
But I appreciated it more than the last couple. It was like, I always try to think in my head, like, how would I describe it in 2 or 3 words to somebody?
Yeah.
It was very, like, beautiful, chaotic. Like, it sounded like a mess, but in a nice way. Like,
yeah.
Like, it was, I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't sound, if you put it on, I would recognize the voice immediately as Ben.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't go, well, this sounds like a fantastic Death Cab album. It sounds like something Ben did. I don't know how to explain it, but like if it was just, if this was just called Ben Gibbard and 4 Strange Guys, I would totally go like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I actually really appreciate it. But
4 Strange Guys.
Yeah, to me, it just, I mean, if you would have put Plans on and put this on, you wouldn't think it's the same bands, would you?
No, well, besides the voice and maybe a little bit about a little similarity with the songwriting, maybe. But no, I understand what you're getting at. Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it sounds very different, but I loved it. I will definitely be listening to this again, which I have not been doing with their last couple albums. Yeah. So I'm already looking forward to getting back in the car and putting it on and driving home to it. So.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that to me is it's an upswing for me. Since Plans, I haven't really participated much in Death Cab, but...
So you haven't been as into Codes and Keys?
Nope.
Or, I always don't know how to pronounce this one. Kintsugi? If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Kintsugi. Or the newer one before the one that just came out, Thank You for Today, which has some really good songs on it, actually. I understand what you're saying. And I will say... Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
Started off very strong. Towards the middle, maybe even about 2/3 in, there was a couple songs in a row where I was like, I don't know if this is up to the rest of the album. And then it ended strong. So I'm nitpicking here, but I think if you took like two, maybe 3, but I'll say 2 for sure songs out that are about a little over halfway through the album, and if he would have pushed a little harder to realize that those songs may be B-sides, in my humble opinion, I think this would have taken this to the next level. But that being said, I did notice that as I listened to it, and it's again only one listen for us, that compared to these past few, I'm like, okay, all right, we're stepping up here. And it's hard when you've Transatlanticism, for me, was a life-changing album. I'll say that again. Transatlanticism, for me, was a life-changing album. So it's hard to compare. It's almost like, are you punishing the band for having such masterpieces earlier in their career? And again, like I said earlier in the video, I would never say, well, Chris Waller left, pack it in, guys, you got nothing. Absolutely not. If you got Ben Gibbard on your roster... You got something. You got something special. The title track, Asphalt Meadows, stood out to me. The first really half of the album was just bang, bang, bang. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, Rand McNally, was that the name of the one song?
Yeah,
I thought that was really, that was a unique track.
Yeah.
The opening 2 tracks I thought were fantastic as well. Like I said, I mean, overall, I just thought the tone of the album, the pace of the album, it definitely, to me, was an improvement from the last couple albums.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll tell you, I had an interesting moment. The last song, I believe, is... Man, we're really winging this. I think it's called I'll Never Give Up on You, the last song.
Yeah, I think it's something like that, yeah.
And when I saw the title, I thought, okay, I could see them ending this album with maybe just Ben and an acoustic, and just... he has a way of painting a picture, like, you know, songs like I Will Follow You Into the Dark and A Lack of Color, stuff like that, where it's just like, oh, God, this is so beautiful, I can't take it. I saw the title of that and that it was the last track on the album, and I was thinking, oh, here comes the home run, an acoustic home run. And it was the complete opposite. So at first I was like, but then halfway through the song, I'm like, okay, all right, like, this is well done. It's not what I was expecting, but it's well done. So, Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend it if you're a Death Cab fan. If Death Cab's a band for you that you've only really ever heard of, but you don't really know them, I definitely would not give this to you as the first thing to listen to.
No.
I'd give you Transatlanticism, then I'd give you Plans. Then I'd give you either Narrow Stairs or maybe go back and get the photo album. But this one, I'd be giving you at some point, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely before the last 3.
Yeah. And they've put out some EPs here and there. I have one here that's, I think, this might have come out actually between Thank You for Today and Asphalt Meadows. I'm not 100% sure. But the Blue EP, this is good. This has some good songs.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so it's got 5 songs there. Well, that brings up something interesting we could talk about quick. What are your thoughts? EPs seem to be a really big thing nowadays. And even singles, of course.
Yeah.
I'm still an album guy.
I am too.
I always will be. Now, these are 5 really good Death Cab songs that I'm grateful to have in a physical format. And it basically tied me over between albums. I can't argue about getting more music from them. But Death Cab for Cutie is a band. And they then put out a full-length album because that's what they do. Bands, bands that I grew up with from the 80s, 90s, etc., even the early 2000s, like when these guys started, and I'm sick and tired of people telling me that nobody listens to albums anymore. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's just simply not true. So, again, I got no problem with EPs, but I'll put it to you this way. When a band that I really like announces that they're putting out an EP, I'm like, oh, cool, I'll get a few songs. When they announce they're putting out an album, I'm like, bring it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited. That's the difference for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
I figured you would because,
Yep.
we have some similar views on the big picture, at least. But, so yeah, it sounds like Asphalt Meadows, you were a little more impressed with it than me, but I definitely, I consider it a strong effort and a worthwhile listen,
Oh, it absolutely
to say the least.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, we're doing this different here this time, just a one-time listen. So, and I will definitely be listening to it more myself over the next several weeks. So, maybe we'll even do now that we have a few more listens,
a
redo. But yeah, so check it out. The new Death Cab for Cutie album, Asphalt Meadows. Death Cab fans, thanks for clicking on here. Please, if you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Like this video, share it on social media, smash that bell for notifications. And
we're still pretty new, and we're almost to 100 subscribers. So be the 100 subscribers. Yeah, somebody out there, be that guy.
Yeah. If you're the 100 subscriber, we will give you absolutely nothing, but our sincere gratitude.
Man.
Our sincere gratitude.
Yes.
So, anything else about the new Death Cab there, Brad?
Nope. Looking forward to listening to it on the ride home. That's all I can say.
Sounds like he wants to get out of here, so we better wrap this up. So for Brad, I'm Keith. This is the KB Music Den. Check out the new Death Cab for Cutie album entitled Asphalt Meadows. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back with more content real soon. Take care, guys.
See you guys.